Fans are getting their Caitlin Clark highlights in while they still can. Of course, she's headed for the Olympic break. Well-deserved, well-earned. And there were plenty of other players who played great in the All-Star game, most notably Arike Ugumbuwale. But when you look at what Clark is able to do, and obviously the fanfare and the amount of fans she has, there are all these different clips that have surfaced since the weekend. Because there was so much going on, it was hard to keep track of everything in the moment. So I figured I'd take you through a compilation of some of what I've seen since then, including Clark absolutely dusting Sabrina Ionescu in this one right here. You see Sabrina has picked up Caitlin Clark on the play. Clark casually bringing the ball up. A little bit of a hezzy, and see you later. Goodbye, Sabrina. There's the layup. So Sabrina, barbecue chicken on that play. That was just one. Another play from the All-Star game. The passing obviously is something that is eye-popping for Caitlin Clark. The way she's able to find her teammates. In this one, it was to Aaliyah Boston. A lot of people saw this play during the game, but this was a cool angle of it to see how she really slid the ball in there. Thomas is out to play defense, and there's the bounce pass. Perfect. Right to Aaliyah, who's able to finish as she has so often for the Indiana Fever this season. That was a play that got Jonquel Jones, excited in the moment when you watch that play. And of course, Clark found Jonquel in the game. This is not a sleeper highlight. This was there on the broadcast, but it's just so nice. Got to watch it again. Sometimes you just got to see him again at the touchdown up ahead. 6 points and the extra point. All good for Jonquel and Caitlin on that connection there. And then there was some of the other gravity aspects of Caitlin Clark's game. There was a moment where Nneka Ogwumike was being interviewed during the game. And during the interview, you can see Caitlin Clark draw 4 defenders before kicking it out to Boston for a 3-point attempt. Clark has got the ball here, gets into the lane. There's all 4 defenders, swings it out. AB didn't connect on the shot, but you could see Nneka, sort of captured in the moment following the ball on the play, as so many of us would in a situation like that, of course. Not to mention the way the attention that Caitlin Clark draws out on the floor. She was even being face guarded and harassed in this game, picked up full court in this game, which helped her teammates. You could see Kelsey Plum doing it here. It was awesome that the All-Star game had so much competitiveness to it. But you have Kelsey Plum face guarding her, following her, making sure she's not going to get open. This is the Boston play, I think. So I think you'll see Jonquel's reaction on this play as well. Clark gives it up. Still being chased, still being harassed, gets it back. And there's that fit-in pass to the Jones reaction I was talking about before. So Caitlin picked up the whole way down the floor, still didn't stop her, and that was in an All-Star game, of course. You generally don't see that type of defense, those type of defensive resources being equipped to stop a rookie point guard in an All-Star game. Generally. I'm not sure how often I've seen something like that. Then, of course, there was Caitlin Clark to Angel Reese. Everybody has seen that play by now. But it feels almost healing to watch it, right? So let's watch it again. Why not? Caitlin does a wonderful job drawing the defense. Angel makes herself available. Angel finishes it spectacularly, authoritatively, making sure that one goes through. My buddy Ryan Rucco, I wish I could play the audio, but I don't want to get pinged for the copyright. He had a fantastic call on this one. It should go on his career reel, really. Clark to Reese, like you've been waiting for, or something to that effect. And then they dapped up. It just did feel like, a lot of the tension was let out in the moment. I'm probably overstating that, but Angel, even on the sideline, after that, when she was talking about Caitlin, kind of lit up, I think, more than I've seen Angel when she's talked about Caitlin before in the past. She was saying, we all understand, I understand, I got to run the floor. I got to be looking for the ball when Caitlin has the ball because she could find me. And that was cool. And then she talked about being Olympic teammates in 2028, which feels like almost an inevitability at this point. They certainly looked good enough in that game to be there, along with Enrique, probably along with NECA and Alicia Gray. I would say all those players look good enough. Maybe AB will be there. Maybe Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, a lot of the Team WNBA players looked really good in that game. In fact, I thought the guard play in particular stood out. Their guards just looked more active and spry and quick and fast. And then they had their point guard, the starting point guard of the game, that being Caitlin Clark. And you could see her in this huddle commanding everybody else, commanding the attention and the respect of the veterans. I mean, she's listening to them too. It's not a one-way street, right? Like, that's how respect goes. You can see her nod in agreement when she's told by Agumake something else. So that's just a cool sight. And it's one of the reasons I think not only has Caitlin earned this break, but she's earned her WNBA respect. I think a lot of that nonsense is out the window and will no longer be a part of the discourse going forward. Some people will try to force it, of course. You'll see that. Some people will try to force it. But it is what it is. And Natasha Cloud, by the way, the Phoenix Mercury, there was a moment on the broadcast too where she talked about how Caitlin pushes the pace of the game. She discussed just the little things, the little intricacies of the game and how Caitlin's pace pushing can make a difference. And, it was just respect from one guard to another. But in this sequence of plays, it's not even as spectacular as it is the speed. There's the dribble handoff, allowing the three. I think that was Gray there. And then, getting it into the lane, feeding Angel, as we just saw before. Various, parts of the broadcast. You can see Cloud there talking about it with her analyst hat on. Her Phillies hat, but her analyst hat, figuratively speaking. But it's going to be a break for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever and the WNBA. So people are getting those highlights out. They're making the rounds in the meantime. And there was, a lot going on in All-Star Weekend. So not every angle, not every moment was captured. And one thing about Caitlin Clark fans, they'll make sure you see it. It'll be out there. I've seen it because of that. So shout out to everybody whose account I used to post those clips. But Caitlin's got her own mixtape just from her first All-Star game.